Hi, everybody, and welcome to Metaphysical Insights. I'm your host, William Becker, and I have a very beautiful special guest and dear friend on the show today, um, Kathy Guinn, who is the
Hello.
founder of the Porterville Ghost Society. And we first met in person at a conference she was holding in Porterville. Um, that was really amazing and gave
Thank
me
you.
my first introduction to all kinds of great people. So
Thank
thank
you.
you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. It's honored to be here to see my old friend William Becker. And we're both almost the same age, so don't say you're older or I'm older. We're both good old friends.
Yes. And I no, I was trying to come up with a really bad joke, but I couldn't come up with it in time, so never mind. Um, oh well, not enough coffee. Um, but how have you been and what are you up to these days?
Well, what I've been up to these days is still having that curiosity of the paranormal. I live in a haunted house. If people don't know that, but I do live in a haunted house. It's
Yes,
friendly,
I've
good
been there.
spirits. Yeah, you've been here. It's haunted, but they're
Hmm.
good spirits. They're people, they're elements, they're
Yeah.
whatever was left here before I moved in years
Yeah.
ago, years and years ago. But I got that experience and I got that insight. And when after meeting you, you helped build more curiosity
Oh,
and
good.
using what you have already and but how to use it properly and not trying to misinterpret some of the
Right.
stuff, but also allow yourself the grace to learn more and be open to things.
Well, thank you so much. I really
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
And well, we learn from each other.
yeah. And nobody knows everything. They can say they're the biggest expert in the world, but they don't know everything, and not everybody gets the same experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we could be wrong.
Yeah, we all could be wrong.
Yes.
We really could. We don't know that play. We don't know that world. Not truly. I mean, I'll share a story later with you, but I went into that world and it frightened me.
I want to hear about this. You alluded to this a few minutes ago when we were chatting.
Yeah. I was visiting the Fitzgeralds, and if anybody out there doesn't know, it's Barry Fitzgerald. He was one of the people in Ghost Hunters International. He was also lead investigator for a bit. Irishman with his got a wonderful wife. Then there we have kept going over the years and met him at an event years and years ago at the Wolf
They're
Manor in
incredible
Fresno.
people.
Yeah, and we just me and him just we connected. Now we're a family. We call each other family, and
Great.
you know that as well as I do. You see how we are with each other. We're family,
Yeah. Mhm.
and they've been to our home and in here in California, which they love, by the way. And
That's where I met you. Met
yeah,
them.
California,
Well,
and
that in the conference.
yes, and then they
Mhm.
were in Sligo. They live in Sligo, Ireland, which is like the northwest coast of Ireland.
Which
Beautiful,
I've been
beautiful.
to, but before I knew Barry.
Yeah, Sligo. Love it there. They live in
You
a little
do.
town called Ballintoger. They're
Okay.
now grandparents twice,
Hmm.
and so am I. I now have two little ones.
Congratulations. Two
Thank you.
now.
Two,
Awesome.
two, and now Barry has two. So it's been a joy for both of us.
Yeah.
And but on to our story. They live where they live in Ballintoger, just outside of this Sligo town. They are very close, which is maybe a 2 minute walk from a very, very old ancient, they call them stone forts. Look it up, people, if you ever want to know what a stone fort is. It's what it is essentially is a place where villagers lived and they had a leader, a fiefdom, a lord, whatever you call them back then, a baron, I don't know what, but somebody who was very wealthy, usually a very wealthy. man or family. And so they would offer protection if the farmers would kind of build a village around them, and they would also help them build their homes and get their property and their crops going, because it sustained everybody, including the the ones that owned the land.
What time period was this? Now, is this Iron Age that
I
we're
think it's
talking about, or
4,000.
4000
Yeah, 4,000. The fourth from fourth.
BCE?
Yeah,
So we're talking at the beginning of the Neolithic
was it the
in the
Neolithic?
part of
Yeah,
in that part of the world.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And there's a lot of
So
evidence of all that. There's evidence of stuff that's even older, which I've been in the tombs and everything. That
y-
was
now
crazy.
you see, that's really my kind of stuff.
You'll love it
Neolithic,
there, William.
Neolithic
There's
to
so many
Bronze
places
Age.
you can get to.
Yeah. And when I was there, 2 weeks in Ireland, when we went to one Stone Age fort that was up, and I'm thinking this is a history tour. But anyway,
Yeah,
go
but
on,
you know what a
continue. I
stone
did,
fort is. You're familiar with the stone fort. Okay.
yeah,
Well, there was a few times we would Donna, his wife, took me out to the stone fort and said, now you gotta, this is my little, I like to come here once in a while. And so she showed me a tree, and you can get on top of it. That's the cool thing about Ireland. And I think most European places is you can go on top of these things and walk around them and touch them and
yeah.
feel them, lay on them, sit on
Mhm.
them, and converse with whatever's there, whatever you can't see. But there's no there you can do that. Just don't trash the place. Just treat it with respect. But you can go on it, and I did that. I walked on top of those walls, looked at the little areas below, and I'm like, oh, no wonder this is a great little place to have a play, because it was on like a knoll, a little bit of an area,
Okay.
and they had developed like little walls. And then you can even see when you walked in there, they had shelves that were built in. The people had built in shelves, and that looked like it was the big gathering place. Because if you looked even further down, when you got into the floor, when you got into the interior, you could see big, big, big flat stones, very heavy stones, where there's probably with part of the roofing. I'm sure the wood has rotted away that used to hold these stones up. Big old, can you imagine those big poles? Barry said there
Well,
used
if
to
it
be,
was 6,000 years old, yes,
yeah,
it would be rotted, I would think.
yeah, probably rotted, but he said that the Irish oak disappeared after the English discovered it.
Yeah.
So they took it, basically all of it. They took it all. There used to be Irish elk, but the English took it. So, it is what it is. That's history. Not saying it's right, but it's history. It's part of, that's what people did to each other. Uh,
That's part of what every culture throughout time has done
mhm.
when they had the means to do so.
Right.
And
Well,
frankly, on this continent and all the rest of them,
yeah.
there was, you know, the pure, peaceful society is a beautiful idea that has no basis in fact at this point.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least not since weapons.
No. Yeah. That changes a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Quite a bit. But
Yeah.
we were there, and she showed me a place. She goes, my special place here, which she used to like, is she called it the Tree of the Fae. So she showed me the Tree of the Fae. And Fae over in Ireland, don't let them be fooled by, oh, their fairies are cute. Over there, they're tricksters, and sometimes they're up to no good,
Yes.
because
Especially if
you're
you
in
cross
their
them.
area. Yeah, and I've had my share of run-ins with the Fae. Oh, so many of them when I go there. And Barry says, it's you're a bug light. There's something that shines about you that they recognize, either a kindred soul or somebody they've recognized from eons ago. He said, so either that's a good thing or a bad thing. I go, You could be sitting next to the devil. And he goes, I know. We're always teasing like that back and forth. But she showed me the Fae, and I said, can you leave offering? She goes, sure, sometimes you can leave an offering. Well, I left it a little chocolate. Okay. When I went there, the chocolate was gone. Could have been a bug. It could have been a squirrel. Could have been anything, a bird. But I didn't think that way. Well, we went another time. I went a time by myself, and it just felt different. But like something was with me, but, and I was alone, but something was with me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. But it didn't feel really great. Like I was being stalked, but I couldn't see it. All I could see was the cows down below and the sheep, and hear an occasional bird. Well, I was hearing a rustling sound. I go, maybe it's birds. And then I started seeing shapes behind some of the trees. Because if you can imagine the valley is just filled with trees, it's beautiful. There's moss there. There's little creeks and little rivers running through. There's animals. It's wildlife. And
And I'm gonna just put a little interjection here for those that don't know you. Kathy spent a lot of time outdoors. She lives in an area that's not heavily forested, but has a lot of wilderness and different things where she's gone hiking and such. And you have to pay attention to what's out there, like rattlesnakes and all kinds of stuff. And
mountain
she, you,
lions, bears.
yeah, and you grew up in the mountains with a farm, I believe, or close around.
Both through farms and ranches. All the kids back then that we just ran around the ranches, went horseback riding and running
Right.
everywhere. We were wild little kids.
And I put that out there only to say Kathy knows the difference between an animal or a wind or a tree or a shadow from this or that and
Mhm.
something else.
Right,
And
right.
that's why I say that. Because
Thank you.
somebody from Los Angeles may not tell the difference. I'm not picking on Angelinos by any stretch
Nope.
of the word. It's just when you don't have the experience, you don't know.
Oh, they could knock my butt off running around the city,
Yeah.
you know. But I got them when it's out in the country.
Yeah.
I got them, you know. But
Yeah.
well, I came back and it just felt really weird. And when I come back to the house, I told him, I go, that felt kind of weird. And Barry's like, what do you mean weird? What do you mean? Well, tell me about it. I go, it just felt a little off. He goes, okay, don't venture out by yourself next time, okay? I said, okay. He goes, and you heed me. Okay. Oh, you know, he's always like that, always making sure that the women folk are good.
Yeah.
That whole trip, to be honest, was a very, very eventful trip because other stuff happened to us I've never experienced before in my life. But back to that story. Well, Donna and me went a couple of days later. I go, I want to leave an offering for the Fay tree. And she goes, okay. And so we went there. Well, we couldn't find it.
What?
And this is the honest truth. We could not, we were walking around. I go, Donna, isn't the tree here? She goes, where did it go? And what was happening was you could feel a vibration coming in the air from the ground, in the atmosphere, from the trees, from the sky. You felt this heavy vibration coming in. And then I started seeing, I look up and it looked like shit. The only way I can describe it is shimmering in and out of the
That I know what
sea.
you mean. I've seen that.
Okay, you've seen it,
Hmm.
but it's almost like you're in a different dimension.
I've seen it with Faye materializing.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, we couldn't find the tree. And then when I was hearing Donna, well, Sissy, where are you? Where are you, Sissy? I go, I'm right around here. So she was looking for me and I could hear her walking, but I couldn't see her until we finally met up someplace else. And you can see each other in that area.
Yeah.
You were right there. You can see each other. You
It's
always
not
know
like you
where
were
each other
hidden
is.
by rocks or trees or anything.
No, no, no. and we could see each other. There's a little bit of a berm, which is like a little bait that you go down, but you could still hear and see each other really well. You're not far apart. You're right there. I couldn't find her. Then we finally found each other, and we were laughing and joking. I'm like, "Did you see that?" She goes, "What I'm still a little wound up about is the tree. We couldn't find it until we finally found it toward the end of our journey there." I go, "Yeah." So we're walking back, and I go, "Donna, let's tell Barry what happened." So we're telling Barry, and he had such a serious look on his face. He told me in so many words, he goes, "You are not to go back there and stop leaving offerings. No more offerings. You're not to go back there alone or anywhere near it at this time anymore. No more trips out there. And listen to what I say, because I may not be able to find you." He said, "Because the Fae have taken to you and they may not let you come back. And you will disappear. Believe me." That put the fear in me like heavy. And I didn't know what to do, whether to cry, whether to laugh. I saw how serious it was because he meant it.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yes, that's his pride. That's his land. He's born and raised there. And
Mm,
I believe
and
him.
from my own nothing like that dramatic, from my own experience and frankly communication with them. Yeah, I think he's right.
I believe so. And I believe he
Mm,
was right.
yeah,
And so I took it to heart.
good.
It put the fear in me. And then
Yes.
throughout the trip, I heard we went to bed. Everybody went to bed. They have a room set aside for me or Shannon when my husband goes with me. They call it Kathy's Suite. So,
Okay.
so whenever you get to go there, you get to go to Kathy's Suite. You get to stay at Kathy's Suite.
Oh, good.
Okay, nice. It's nice,
Yeah.
but that night, it was that night, I heard footsteps around the house, and he has gravel because it can get muddy and wet there. And
You mean
so
it rains in Ireland?
that shocked me. We were there. It rained all the time, and the wind can blow. You feel like the
Yes.
house is going to be taken away, like Dorothy.
Pe- People were shocked I got a suntan in Ireland.
God, that is shocking.
Yes, I know.
Their summer is like 60 degrees over here, I think. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, feels so good. I'm sweating.
Uh-huh.
Here I am like this. They used to make fun of me all the time. Put on the blankets, get the dog, throw the dog on her, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I kept hearing somebody walking around, and it was heavy steps. Well, it happened 2 nights in a row. Finally, I go, "Barry, what is it that you have outside?" It's walking around the house. His face looked at me like, Donna, you could have heard the way her head snapped to look at him. She goes, "What did you call over here?"
What did you call?
Over here to him. He got in trouble because apparently he's been communicating with something up in the sky that blinks back at him. So he got in trouble because I saw it with my own eyes when he was using a little flashlight thing, like a little pointer, laser pointer, because they don't have all the planes and everything where he's at. But then something started blinking at him and kind of making patterns.
He was, or the something in the sky was. Something in the sky was.
Yeah. So he got in trouble.
Interesting. Yeah, I can see that.
But the way
Mhm.
he looked at me was like, don't say nothing, you know. And then
You see, I was thinking it was something from the Fae that had followed,
no, he said
but
no.
no.
But
Okay.
they had already given me the Fey lecture. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm the prodigal son, okay, won't do that
Yeah.
again. Cannot go back and do not ever leave an offering again. Okay, I believe you. I believe you.
Hmm.
So he got in trouble. And it was seen, whatever it was seen on the very perimeter of the property.
Okay.
One of his friends were over for the weekend as well, and they were just fun people. But his wife had seen something out in the perimeter of the property at night, so she saw it too.
And it's hard to say what that is. Is that related to the Fae? Is that interdimensional? Is it extraterrestrial?
Yeah,
Is it something totally different we don't understand at
yeah,
all?
yeah. Is it a guardian? Is it a curious ET? Who knows? I don't know. That land is so ancient, William, and you know it. That's what you go to
Yes.
ancient places. There's stuff
Well,
up there
and
we
so
don't know.
ancient before people, even the
Yeah.
beings that were there before the human race was.
Yes. Yes. They
And
call them
they have
elementals.
they have gotten archaeological evidence of humans in the British Isles dating to 900,000 BCE to a million BCE.
Oh, wow.
Obviously not Homo sapiens, because we're our current species isn't quite that old, but earlier humans.
My area alone, there's so much history here, Native American history, the Old West days, you name it. We still have reports of Bigfoot. We have reports of a dog man.
I've actually seen Bigfoot.
Oh, you have told me you're Bigfoot. And that was just,
Yeah.
I was amazed. Astonished. I've heard him. I've heard him howling.
Hmm.
And it wasn't a wolf. I know what a wolf sounds like. I know
Oh
what a
yeah,
coyote, a mountain lion, bobcat, foxes. You know what they sound like. This
right.
was, it had a human flavor to it, human sound to it. I've heard birds,
Hmm.
um, big ones, but
Yeah.
that was something that just, they call it blood curdling. That it was blood curdling. I've heard the banshee in Ireland.
Yes.
That scared the hell out of me. And
And didn't you have a neighbor that passed away the next day or something like
yes, we had that day. It
that
was
day?
the time we heard it.
Hmm.
Somebody passed in that town,
Yeah.
and they're attached to a family or a land. That was because I was told you hear it, you can hear it, but it's not meant for you.
It's
So that
meant
made
for
me feel
somebody
better.
close to you. I mean, I always heard that it was meant for somebody close to you, or that you knew anyway.
No, they're attached to a family.
Okay.
Yeah, every family has one apparently over there.
Okay.
I don't know if it's legend, but I'm gonna believe what they say.
Hmm.
I'm not the expert in Ireland by no means. I just have been a tourist and privileged to experience quite a bit of quite a bit of things I don't know what they are. Now, you've shared stuff with me too.
Oh yeah.
Quickly, how'd the courthouse go?
I got a call at 10:30 that morning. Little background, everybody. We were supposed to do this show last week,
Mhm.
but I had I was given the opportunity to at 10:30 the day of the show go get a guided tour of the courthouse in Oregon City that's being torn down, and it was built in the 30s, but it replaced a courthouse on the site built in 1884. And I was going to be able to get this tour, read the courthouse, and all of this. 10:30 that morning, the guy I got a call from the guy that set it up for me. saying the guy that set the whole thing up had just called him and had some kind of thing he had to do at his church, and that was canceled.
Oh,
The next day, the fire department was doing trainings in it. That was Sunday. Monday, the wrecking balls started. So I didn't get to go, but it was too late
it
to
was too late.
reschedule.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
And that's
but
that's the mercy. That's being at the mercy of others.
yeah, and it's, it is what it is, and all I can do is laugh about it. I did get a read because they were tearing off bits and pieces, some of the more historically important elements on the
Mhm.
facade and stuff, for a while. And I did do a reading of it just walking past it one day where everything inside was rather angry about it. And then there was also yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I actually put this up on YouTube. I did a Facebook Live reading of it as they were working on it and walked around a little bit. And the entities weren't happy. And it wasn't just human, and it wasn't just settlers, colonialists, because we colonized out here. I mean, call it for what it is.
Yeah.
Um, I get in so much trouble with my mouth. Oh well. Um,
Welcome to the club.
yeah, no wonder we get on so well.
I know. little
um,
little shit starters, huh?
but it's truth is truth, and history is history. Um, I'm not into changing. I'm interested in learning from it
Yeah.
and
You can't change it.
understanding. How do things transition? How do things work? How do
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
interact? How does blah blah blah? Anyway, but there were other non-human elements that were also not happy with it, as well as the indigenous people. Um, that area, I mean, I believe we actually had permanent villages around this area because, well, this site is right on the second longest northerly flowing river in the world. It's right below the second largest waterfall in the country by volume. I'm not sure if it's all of North America or just the United States. Um, it's in the Willamette Valley, which is a breadbasket. The tribes didn't have agriculture when I don't think they had it even when the settlers came out. If they did, it was minimal and it was primarily hunting and gathering. Um, but
Well, some tribes weren't even agriculturally based. They were hunters gatherers.
yeah. Oh, and when the original Europeans came over, even the very few that had the agricultural base, hunting and gathering was a very important part of their subsistence.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, that's another topic, but I can see where people with the engineering and the armor and the ships and the gunpowder and agriculture and everything would come over and see people with basically in the Mesolithic, not even Neolithic period, where they're using stone tools
Hmm.
and none to little agriculture, were very primitive and didn't and less than. I mean, they're not. It's as humans, as societies, as everything else, but I can see how one would look down on the other, and I could see how one would think the other possessed magic. At least for a while, at least until you start killing a few and feel, oh, they bleed too. They're probably not gods. Um,
They bleed. Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. And and So I go on these little diatribes, not meaning to delay things, but just to put the full context. And they weren't happy about it because this is changing the whole narrative. Again, the whole story is going. It's not just the pioneer story. And Oregon City is the oldest incorporated town west of the Mississippi River. It's the site of the first long distance electrical power transmission generation in the country. And frankly, a lot of the textbooks, including the city website, say in the world. San Francisco's plot map is in a safe here because Oregon City is where San Francisco had to file their charter because we were the only legal entity in
Only
1848.
only legal government seat probably
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the region.
yeah. And we weren't because I think that was well, the US got California in 1848, I believe is the date. And we weren't officially a territory until 49. But Oregon City was incorporated in 44. So, so anyway, there's all of that interconnection with everybody and everything here. And that, all of that was upset with the whole story going away, with
Okay.
everything going
They
away.
didn't want to be forgotten.
Yes. And they don't want the stories forgotten.
Yep.
And we've got the same thing, the old paper mill site, which is where the town was originally founded. And I won't go into all the history. And it was also where a lot of Native American hunting and gathering was going on. Now, the development arm of one of the tribal groups bought the place. They never presented a plan for what they were going to do. And this has nothing to do with whether or not it's a tribal owned business or any other developing company. They have one purpose, and that's to make money. And I get that.
Yeah.
But everything's being flattened. Everything of any history is gone or being gone. And hopefully the Native American part will be brought in some. There wouldn't have been permanent villages right there. It's too close to the falls, I think. But because it's right at the falls. And um but all the rest of it. But I mean, it's going to be developed to bring in capital. And what about thousands of years of people and history and the changes over time and all the rest of it? And who knows?
It's up to people like you. It's up to people like me who can give a little bit of backgrounds. And I don't know everything. There's no way I'm going to know everything. But how
Yeah,
many stories have already been lost? How much history's already been lost because the people, the storytellers or the history absorbers, they're gone.
yeah,
And little by little, when we start losing the elder generation, the older folks that knew those stories and the legends and the weird stuff as well, because face it, we like the weird stuff
yeah,
along with history. That's why we do what we do. That's how we met. But
yeah,
there's just not enough interest anymore in that. And I know we talked about it a little bit before we came on. Is like sometimes just being connected to social media. That's not history. A lot of it is not history. It's just interaction, whether it's good or bad. And and
it's getting clicks and monetizing, getting enough
there you
followers,
go.
you
I
get
like
monetized.
that's your exact. You nailed it. You get how many
Yeah,
likes can I get? As many likes as I can get, I can make more money.
yeah,
And it goes on and on and on. And I see that as a new money making venture. People need to survive. They need to make a living. But and some people, there's a lot of people that's their main source. So They'll do
And
what they got
some
to
of it,
do.
and some of that content is very important and very accurate. There are a couple of independent news people I watch who are right on with their news. One guy is an attorney as well.
Mhm.
He really knows his stuff. Um, then later on, everything can be confirmed in some other source or another. Um, I told you about Dan McClellan and
Mhm.
what he puts out there, and they're able to do a big community service because they have the followers to actually have the cash streams in different ways. And that's okay. I mean, they deserve it. They are giving
They've earned
fact.
it.
Yeah. And they're giving fact and important information.
Yeah, they earned it.
Um, a lot of it is to promote an agenda, to promote ignorance, to promote whatever. And there's so much of it that's just toxic.
That's why I don't venture into that area anymore because I just rather enjoy what I have left on this earth. I will explore later on what's out there when it's
Mhm,
my time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not
mhm.
afraid. I think I'll miss some of the physical earthly things, but how do you know it's not better? How do you know you don't get a different perception or a different whole new way of understanding? Whether you're a physical form or a spiritual form, maybe you're both. Because I've seen stuff that happens. I've seen ghosts. I've heard ghosts. I've seen objects that shouldn't be there. I have walked along paths that, why is this feeling really familiar? And I've never been here before. And
Describe the layout of the house or the rooms, and you've never seen it.
yeah, and you know exactly where everything is.
Mhm.
And it's just the oddest thing. Or you see things coming up to your front door, humans, and they never ring the doorbell or knock on the door. But it's the same one over and over again. And I wonder, is there a message that I'm not capturing? So you never know.
No, you don't know, but I'd say message might be let's develop your skills a bit more.
Which I tend to shut down
Mhm.
because I don't want to know everything. I don't want to expose myself to everything because that can also, and I'm sure you've felt this way before. I can't say you have for sure, but sometimes it's exhausting.
I find it not to be,
I see, I do.
especially especially over time, because you learn not to just use your own energy, and you learn how to shut off too.
I tend to shut
And
down, shut off. I'm like
yeah,
blocking everything. I'm done.
and I don't even block it. I'm always open and I'm always on.
Hmm.
But with my lovely neurodiverse brain, the way it works, when I'm focused on something, other things are not so much there unless they really
They're
make
the
themselves
background.
known,
Yeah.
if that. And
Yeah.
so it's really easy for me to be unaware. And you get used to it too. I mean, oh geez, the other day I saw part of a solid apparition in my utility room behind the door jamb from the kitchen to the utility room. And it's like, okay, hi. It was there and it was gone. Didn't get a face, got some colors with the clothes.
Hmm.
There's nothing that height there that it could have been, nothing those colors. And it's just usually it's more shadowy. But the footsteps you were talking about, oh, I get that all the time. And it's just I've heard footsteps running down the street, like heavy leather boots or shoes running down the street at 5 in the morning when I've been outside waiting for a taxi to go to the airport or something,
Hmm.
and nobody's out there.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, I have wait. I hear voices in the living room before I go to sleep or something, and open the door
You
and
hear a mumbling.
yeah, and there'll be several. I mean, you can sometimes mostly male, but sometimes you hear male and female. Sometimes music. There's nothing coming from outside.
I've had chanting,
Yeah,
chanting and music, and like
yeah,
sometimes drums
yeah,
and a steady chanting and twirling noises. The apparition I see a lot is um, a man walking up to our front door. I can see him out of the window when I look outside because you can see movement.
right.
And he's usually wearing either a long blue shirt, long sleeve, light blue shirt, or a white shirt.
Yeah,
And I know it's the same guy, but I'm like, why is he not knocking or ringing the doorbell? Why am I not getting up? Because it's almost like I know he's not going to be there.
yeah. Now, does he show up on the security system video?
No,
Mhm. So that
I've
tells you
looked.
a lot.
I've
Mhm.
looked.
Yep.
No, it happens quite a bit.
Yeah. And they're perfectly harmless. They're fine, and they're welcome. Every one of the ones I get behaves themselves. They usually are not even trying to get my attention.
They're going
Um,
through life. They're going through a pattern, I
a
think.
lot of times, or they're floating through or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you're a medium, the beacon goes out, you know. But my mother was seeing things in the house, and mom and dad had the house built. And this was all fields when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
These fields, dad had students. My dad taught ninth grade social studies, basically world history, but um, U.S. history was more his real interest, and that and the world wars. Um, and he had students that would bring him arrowheads and such in the 60s and find in the fields around here.
Mm.
But I haven't ever heard of any kind of a village here, a permanent type settlement. Um, I could see temporary hunting camps.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Going with the seasons or the wildlife.
yeah,
Going with
but
the
not
game.
enough to have left any kind of a archaeological footprint.
Hmm.
There is a stream, uh, I don't know, pretty close by, a couple blocks, 2, 3 blocks. There was one. I don't know how much is covered anymore. Before the development, you could see it, but some of that may be covered over and culverted now. I don't know for sure. Um, but I wouldn't have been enough to support a village, a full village full time or anything, I don't think. And very seasonal in the summer, it wouldn't have had much water at all. So I'm just looking at the logistics, and part of that's a water supply. Um,
Yeah. Water's a conductor for sure.
but it's also if you're going to have a settlement of some kind or a village of
Yep.
some kind,
It's
you
necessary.
you got to have the water close by. And
Yep.
I'm not aware of any of the tribes around here ever digging wells or having that technology or
Okay.
the tools.
Right. They usually just gathered from the river directly for
Yeah.
the water source. It was easier too. They didn't have to
Oh, a
sit there
lot
and dig.
easier.
They needed to
If
save their energy for food to gather.
yeah. Hmm.
And now, do people when if people are watching and taking part in this, what I never asked you before is do they ask questions that we need to answer?
They can. And that's why I flashed up Jamie's hi.
Hi,
Um,
Jamie.
and Jamie's an awesome man. I really like him.
Okay.
He's in England. Um,
Oh,
and
nice.
part of the group of people, my friend Vivian Powell works with. I don't think you've met Vivian in person. She's been over to visit a few times, and I've stayed with her and her husband a few times.
Hmm.
Um, but Jamie's awesome. But um, often what happens is we get a couple people watching live, a small group, and then they all watch it later. And,
Okay, gotcha.
I have shows that will get several hundred views over the course of a few weeks, or I've had shows that topped 1,000, got over 1,000 at times. but and a friend of mine who um, has been part of the you know, broadcast communities and different things for a very long time says he's did his homework, and he said, um, "Yeah, you actually have quite a few people that watch your
Nice,
show."
nice.
So yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Well, you're
Um,
interesting,
well, thank you. It's all up to the guest. I try to be
and you
really
learn.
careful. I like to learn.
Yeah, you have people's different perspectives, and people can go, well, I don't know about that, but that's up to them. It's all personal uh, experiences and everything else that bring you to that, and that's okay.
It is, and I try to be careful about not having big conspiracy or somebody that's too far out there with any foundation, because I want the show to be credible.
I get what you mean. Yeah, just go that middle
Yeah,
and do it
and
your and be on and be true to yourself
exactly.
and to the
And
field.
I need to be credible as a medium, and that depends in part by all the rest of the surroundings. Whether or not that's fair or not is irrelevant. It's the way life works.
Yeah, and people sometimes they're very. There's a lot of people that are still interested in paranormal, not as much as they used to be. I would often call. I've had long conversations with other people in the field that the
Mhm.
shelf life's kind of wearing off. Maybe that's a regional thing or opportunity, which is
Yeah,
a big thing of us because we're very very rural, and it's there's opportunities that close really gradually, little by little.
yeah,
Um, and we've seen that happen as torts go up and people don't want to let you in their home or their businesses because they're afraid they're going to get sued, and
that
so and
kind of
that
thing.
happens. California is very sue happy.
It can be.
Yeah,
Mm,
we can be
I
very
get it.
litigious states, so
Mm,
that's
And
some of the stuff there.
yeah, and some of those are deserved lawsuits, and some of them are not deserved.
Yeah.
Some of it needs to be, well, if you're walking across the street, looking at in the middle of the street, coming out behind a parked car late at night, and you're wearing black, and you're looking at your phone instead of what the traffic is doing, it's not the other guy's fault who's doing the speed limit and is perfectly sober that he hit you, you know?
Yeah, but you can still sue them. You can sue somebody
Oh, yeah,
and
but
win.
what I'm saying is I'm using that as an example of
Mhm.
people need to be a little bit more accountable.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
If the driver is doing 90 and a 25 and they hit you because they've come around the corner so fast and you didn't have time to see or get out of the way, that's a different story. Sue the socks off of them.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, we have to have a little bit.
Common sense.
Yeah, exactly. Common sense and critical thinking.
Yeah. Think about, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why there's a rule. Yeah.
Or what's the foundation behind what? And this is the thing, part of what we were talking about earlier, and this goes back to the audience here before we were on air, too, is, the critical thinking skills to actually do the research into the information. And where is this coming from? Okay, this sounds fun, or we want this to be true, but is there any real foundation that says it is?
Hmm.
Just because it's possible, well, it's very possible I'm going to get hit by a piece of the space station today with an asteroid chasing it. It's highly unlikely.
But you got a lot of doomsayers, though.
Yeah. And
I,
so,
I'm not living in fear, man. I'm going to do what
no,
I
no,
do
no,
and do my
no.
thing, man.
Yep.
And
I'm old enough. I don't have kids. It's like, okay,
we've lived this long. I think we've kind of figured some of the stuff out, right?
we
You know,
have, and it's like, it's okay if it ends, you know,
yeah, it is. It
just
is.
make it quick and painless.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And but I've, the paranormal field, I still love it.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. Many of us do have that natural curiosity,
Mhm.
questioning, not getting so stubborn you dig your heels in, even if you know it's BS.
Mhm.
But and you know me, I'm straight up. I'll call it what I call it. I'll call it what I call it. If I see it wrong, I'm like, hey, you're so full of crap. I'll tell them
Yeah. Mhm.
because you got to weed those out. And there's people in the field today. All of a sudden, they're investigators. All of a sudden, all this stuff has happened to them. All of a sudden, because they have a money making venue, it's all about that. And oh, I didn't tell you what I used to do. Bullshit. Never mentioned it before. All of a sudden, so
You have no idea how many quote mediums there are that way.
oh God, I've run into some. I'm like, you're so full of shit.
Exactly.
And
And what
people
really
see
fun,
it.
and a lot of them actually believe it, that they've taken one class and all of a sudden they're an expert. And
Oh God, how about all the ones that take a class? All of a sudden, they even come up with degrees and doctorates, and it's
oh,
a
I know.
certificate, you know. And they're like, "Oh, you're a professor of the para blah 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 blah." I'm like, "Is that even something?"
No, it's not even any kind of an accredited situation.
Right.
And I'm a little fussy about education
Yeah.
credentials of the institutions, having a long history of educators in my family that go back a few generations,
Well,
on a couple of different continents. Um,
yeah.
so
I mean, be prepared to open up your credentials.
mhm,
And like with my group, what I think is very unique about my group is that our members are very educated.
yes,
There are many professionals among us.
you're one.
Yeah, and
So is
and
Shannon.
Shannon, yeah, he's an NP now.
Yeah,
He's a provider. We have teachers, retired teachers. We have a retired CHP officer.
right.
You know, um, Barry's part of our group,
Yes,
and that guy is so well rounded, and the
yes,
experiences that's just how we are. We
yeah.
recently lost a mentor that I really loved and was very close to because she was one of the best, but she's gone now. But I'm like, I bet she knows things that we don't know now. You know?
I'm sure she does. Did
Yeah,
I know her?
you might have. Her name was Jackie Meador from Fresno.
I don't remember meeting
Yeah,
her.
she's a founder of Fresno, Central California Paranormal Investigators.
Okay,
She mentored me to become a TAPS family member.
okay,
So totally respected that lady for everything, and she was a wonderful soul. And me and her got along so good because we both called it. We both called it like we saw it. We didn't care
mhm,
because you got to call them out. There's places I won't set foot again anymore because it's bullshit,
right, right,
or one wouldn't even go near.
yeah. No, I
I'm not
know
going
what
to
you
say
mean.
what they are, but
No,
people need to make up their own mind.
yeah, and this show is not to be a crashing
Mm-mm,
things show.
mm-mm.
That's, you know, we reached about as far at the edge as I want to go with, but it's because it's an important part of the thinking process and knowledge and putting together the things, being recognized or recognizing there's a lot of rubbish out there, as
Yeah.
well as some honest, good, hard, wonderful people and truth.
And
And
they're really sincere.
I'm sorry.
And they're sincere. And you can
Yes,
tell. You can
right.
see those lights shining.
Yes. And sometimes people are sincere, but it's all rubbish.
Yes, because they believe in it.
Yeah, exactly. Or like some of the people we were talking about who truly believe they're this expert at whatever, overnight. And it just doesn't happen that way.
Even experts continue to learn. And you've never heard me say I'm an expert.
You
Never.
haven't ever heard me say it either. And
No, no, and I
with
never
medium,
will.
no, I've been working on my trade, my craft, whatever, my skills for probably about 52, 53 years. And I've always had them, and mostly done on my own with occasional friends or at like-minded people. We work together, occasionally learning from somebody, um, and just tuning in and being an old soul, um, out of your olds. And um, I'm certainly, I know what I experience and how I interpret that
Mm-hmm,
and how
mm-hmm,
I understand that.
mm-hmm,
And the reality is that it's possible that when the real greater truth is so much bigger that we're not, what we're shown is very different to give us something, and because we can't comprehend the other. And it's possible when we pass, we can't comprehend until we merge with that universal oneness, when our soul reaches that state that it's found its telos, it's done, and can rejoin and be part of oneness.
mm-hmm. And you're
Um,
always so calming. You
well,
know when
thank
to,
you.
yeah, and I'm a little firecracker, and I'm
That's
also
part of your
little,
charm.
and
That's
I'm also
part of you.
little.
But you're calm too. I mean,
I listen to reason,
you do.
and I'm also a very good mediator,
Hmm.
and I can recognize that people are just inflamed with anger or passion, and they earnestly believe in what they're trying to accomplish. So I give them kudos. Doesn't always mean they're right.
Right.
Maybe they could look at it a different way.
Hmm.
But I like to think of myself as someone who can help guide and teach, and don't always follow what I do because it doesn't work for everybody.
No.
You know, don't don't
Every,
don't always do what I do because my way seems to work for me, and it always has.
right.
Um, because I can be very humorous,
Hmm.
but I also have people take accountability. That can take accountability, but I'll also be one of the first people to apologize if I'm wrong or if I've
Hmm.
offended, and it's
Yeah.
almost always, some of it's intentional because I need it, but and I'll be honest about that, but it's almost always unintentional to be mean or to be harmful and make someone feel bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to call people out for what they do, but sometimes
Right.
you just sit there and just, okay, they'll learn.
Sometimes that's the way
You
to do
hope.
it.
You hope.
Sometimes it's not our place to call them out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, and sometimes we can do it, but in a way that it shows we're listening and caring, but trying to educate. And sometimes that goes over and sometimes it doesn't. And it's also okay to simply cut connections sometimes.
And I've done that, and that's
Yep.
okay. And
Mhm.
if I am somebody, I don't know about you, but if I cut somebody off, I keep it that way because I don't want to let my guard down or be unprotected.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and I can forgive, definitely. Forgiveness is
yeah,
important
you can
for
forgive.
ourselves.
You can
You know,
forgive. It doesn't mean you need to put him back in your circle,
no,
but you
or
can forgive
forget.
and wish them well.
It's very important that you don't forget. And now
Yeah.
there are times forgiving and giving somebody another chance where they're allowed to earn that trust again can
Hmm.
be the right thing to do. But it depends on what happened.
Depends on what the circumstances, depending on
Yeah.
who did what or who said what or who. intended or didn't intend to do. And it's all different situations. But I'm
Yeah.
more of I like to be I like to mentor others. I like to give everybody a chance and
Mhm.
try to find their what I love to do is try to find someone's strengths.
Yes.
And what do you like doing?
Right.
Do you like to speak to people? Do you like to help with a tour? Do you like to organize? And there's been times where I've had to let go some of what I've done or what I've done because or what I do is to give someone else the opportunity to shine and to take off some of the burden because as the founder, I did everything.
Yes.
And from the front to the back, from the first to the last, it was on my shoulders. Everybody answered to me because I had to answer to everybody else.
Right.
And I had very high standards.
Mhm. Which is why you have good people working with you and why you have a good name. And that's so important. And I mean, and it's the same thing with me with when I love teaching and watching people get something.
Yeah. And grow right in front of you.
Yes. And
Yes. It's such a
whether it's
love it.
I'm whether I'm teaching metaphysics or psychic or mediumship development or something totally different. I've taught grad school classes and MBA programs before. I'm not just the woo-woo stuff, people. I'm actually,
You're the real deal.
yeah, I've actually got a solid foundation as well. Um, but um, seeing that spark and coming alive, and when I'm teaching metaphysics, paranormal, mediumship, every class is different. It might be the same class,
Mhm.
but the people in the class create the energy and the environment and their needs that I can pick up on and how to direct and make the class go. And I tell every single class, my job isn't to tell you how to do it, to give you the instruction manual. My job is to help you find your own unique manual and how to interpret it and read it and
Yeah.
practice it.
You got to find your path and you help them, you lead them that way.
Yeah.
You
And,
guide.
people have said I should put together curriculum and different things to publish. And I'm, well, it's kind of hard to do with this because there is no one size fits all that's
No,
appropriate. In my experience, at least for the way I reach to people, I'm not saying people who do have that more set foundation don't have a lot to offer and aren't valid. I just haven't worked with them so much. My experience is there has to be so much more. And I rebel at little boxes and labels for things and trying to fit things into them. Everything bleeds together and merges and transforms and creates. And oh, I took a friend for his birthday to a Rumi, the Sufi mystic, 13th century
hmm
Persian, but he went to Turkey with his family when he was pretty young. And I've been to his monastery and to his tomb and watched the dervishes. He was the one with the work founding the whirling dervishes. And there was a 360-degree event at the planetarium last night. So we went and the everything, the colors, the forms, the shapes as they were taking people and merging and morphing into different things. Well, I love that's the way life is. And that's the way so many things are. History periods, you don't have a knife cut saying, okay, now the Mesolithic's over and we're in the Neolithic. It doesn't work that way. You don't have, okay, we have no metal tools to we're full on metal. The first part of the Bronze Age in Europe, anyway, um, much later than down where it started, of course, but stone, flint. And stone tools were very common. You didn't have to be a stone changer to produce them, where you turn stone into metal, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And they were a lot cheaper, and anybody could learn and go and get them or do them. They were a lot of work, but they weren't as good as the metal tools as far as holding a, sharpness, holding a point and stuff in some ways. Although I know of surgeons who have used, I don't know if it was flint or obsidian tools on surgery to have them used on surgery on themselves because they were so much cleaner and sharper and smoother.
Probably obsidian, and it's so sharp.
Oh, I know.
Sharp.
Yeah, I was just trying to picture which continent it was on. If that was, I know, I think it's happened in North America. I wasn't sure about
I know North America
in
has
Europe.
a lot of obsidian.
Yeah, and Europe, I haven't
See
ever
it in the
really looked at.
rocks.
Pardon me?
You can see it in the rocks.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
well, in a lot of the areas around Mount Hood and such, I don't know about now, but you just find big chunks of it all over the place.
Volcanic
Yeah. And,
goings on.
I'm on a good day, I can see five volcanoes, not from my
I
house,
know
but
what you
within
mean.
from 2 miles away from me. And if I just go down the end of the street so I don't have things blocking it, I see the one that's only 45, 50 miles away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we'll
none of
go
them
through it
are
sometimes when
dead.
we're going somewhere. You can see
Pardon me?
the volcanic mountains. You can see, like going to Bishop,
Mhm.
gorgeous place, Red Rock Canyon. But you can see the big chunks
Mhm.
of obsidian that's just laying there next to the roads, little
Yeah,
mountains, little things. I'm like, man, that was a big blow up there. Ancient,
yeah.
long time ago. But how many
Oh,
times kids, when you talk about the stone tools, you want to keep going, but the how many times as kids have we used a rock to break open a nut? You just pick it up. You're using the readily available tools. How many times do you get sticks and grab a piece of grass and you tie it together to make a little hut? Or you just do things like that as kids
we did it all the time.
all the time, all the time.
And
Yeah,
sometimes if the rock is handier than the hammer and it's something that the rock will work on,
it
why
doesn't
go
cost
get the
anything.
hammer?
Yeah, yeah. I've done it as a kid.
And here we don't have to worry about a black widow under the rock if we pick it up.
No, no, no. But
Well,
so it's
I remember we were outside at the museum, and I think I was sitting on the fire truck, the fender of it out there, and then I started noticing cobwebs, and I said, "Oh, those are Black Widow cobwebs. They're different,
yeah, they're all helter skelter, aren't they? Like kind of crazy.
and the
And
fiber
sticky.
is thicker, it's
Yes,
stickier, it's
yes.
very different." And mm, from age 1 to 4, we lived in South Central Oregon, and a black widow bite, if my baby sister would have been bitten, we would have had less than a minute to know about it to get her to what, the 30, 40 miles to a doctor um, before it was too late.
Hmm.
And I was only 2 years older, so there wouldn't have been a whole lot of time for me.
Right.
And I'd go hunting them and find them. And um, anyway, that takes a different story. So I'm just saying I have a healthy fear of them built in at an early age, and I recognize those webs. And I said something about, oh, that's Black Widows, and somebody in the group said yes. And then I saw a couple, and I'm going, oh, I'm not sitting here. And I don't know who it was, but they checked my back to make sure I didn't have any hitchhikers. But that's a long story about not having to be afraid to pick up a rock here. on the other side of the Cascades, yes, but not where I live.
See, black widows don't bother me, to be honest. I've been bitten before.
Mhm.
Um, left a big old giant bruise and red and black and everything color you could think of on my thigh, and it kept spreading. But they just shot me with something. I have found them around my area. I just put them in a cup and throw them out someplace else. I'm the June bug hunter in the house. If the June bug's too close to the house, I'm the one that picks it up and tosses it out. Everybody
What's a
screams.
June bug? I know the name,
June,
but I don't know what they are.
June bug is a big bug. It's pretty big, but like that, and they're brown with little stripes. There's also
Okay.
Japanese beetle, which is gorgeous. It's about the size of a June bug. I think it's that same kind of family, but they're iridescent green.
Japanese beetles are a major problem. They're invasive and destroying all kinds of trees, if I remember right.
Yeah, they're crop killers, but they love fruit, and but they're so pretty. I can't do anything. I don't want to. I'm not going to do anything because they're gorgeous. They're like little jewels.
So kill them and mount them with a pin, like the old Victorian bug
They're
collection.
just beautiful. I just can't do that to life.
I know.
I just
But
can't.
think of all the life that beetle is destroying.
It's a peach
Like
tree.
take, pardon me?
It's just a peach. They're
No,
beautiful.
but it's taking away um from the native bugs.
I won't kill them.
Okay.
They're
I
safe in
tried.
my. They're safe
I
in my
tried.
yard. Because they're just like little jewels. They're
Uh-huh.
beautiful, iridescent green jewels.
And with June bugs, are they those are native, right?
Those are native. They don't bother anything.
I
They
didn't
don't-
think so. That's why I was wondering why you move them.
no,
I mean,
because people don't like it because if you touch them, they hiss, but they just
oh,
make a sound coming out of their abdomen. That's the only thing they got.
yeah,
Hiss.
yeah.
That's it. So I just pick it up and they stick to you. They're the
Oh,
worst flyers in the world and they'll stick to you. And then you're like, oh my God. And people just like freak out. I'm like, come here. And I'll pull it off.
they're not
Throw
going to
it.
bite you.
They're not going to bite. It feels
Once
that
I
they're
know they're not
biting.
going to bite me in a painful way or a
They won't
poisonous
bite you.
way, I don't
They
care.
don't bite. Neither
And you
will
know,
Jumba, the green ones.
no. And if I see a spider in the house that's not too,
Not too big and black with the red thing on their butt, on their
yeah, that,
belly.
but that for sure. Um, but just doesn't look too scary and they just scamper away. I leave them alone.
Yeah, leave them alone. They're good. They're great for mosquitoes. They're great for house flies.
We
Um,
need them.
they'll get
We
them.
need,
I like them.
yeah. Spiders have a very important purpose.
I remember working up, going to the res, going to work one day, and the reservation,
Mhm.
and we or in the locals we call it the res. So do natives the res. But
Mhm.
I remember going to up to the mountain to go to work, and I was actually privileged to see a tarantula um, um, moving, tarantula moving. I mean, like a lot of them, a lot. So I just pulled over and I was just looking at him like, oh my God, big old tarantulas. I was just mesmerized. I waited till they got there and then I just kept on going down the road, up the
Yeah,
road. So, but they're beautiful, beautiful creatures. And they
yeah,
don't go
they are.
after you, they don't grab you. No, they're just letting me go. I'm just,
And most of them, my understanding, some of them have some dangerous venom, but I don't know which breeds or where those are. But
I don't think
most of
we
them
have
are
those.
pretty, yeah, most of them would be like a regular spider bite type thing,
Yeah.
which, there's a little venom, but it's nothing serious.
And they're not really giant. They're like probably about like this big,
Yeah,
probably about 3 or 4 inches.
big enough.
Big enough,
Hmm.
if you're really weird about spiders, but they don't bother. I've never been bothered by one.
Yeah.
Never. got
I
bit.
wouldn't want it in the house, but out in the garden eating big other bugs that are eating my plants, go for
Get
it.
the moths, get the moths, get the grubs. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're
Mhm.
cool. I like them.
Yeah,
They're pretty.
they are. Man, we sure got off the paranormal, and that's fine. That's great. Um, maybe they're haunted bugs.
There might be.
And no, folks, I haven't been day drinking.
Yeah, and we did get off the subject here, but that's because we're friends. We've known each
Yeah.
other for a while, a long
Mhm.
time, and we kind of know what we our interests are, or what we believe in, or what we've done. So
Yeah.
it's just like a couple of buddies just hanging out. I mean, I'm sorry if we bored anybody, but they if they have a question of me, just have them hit you up, and you can get hold of
Yeah.
me anytime, and I'll
Yeah.
tell them. But I've been
Yeah.
the founder for God. We've established 2008. That's
Oh,
a long time for a woman.
how do they get a hold of you? I mean, do you have a
They can
website?
message me directly, but Porterville Ghost Study does have a Facebook, and they can message us there. We also have an email, Porterville Ghost Society at gmail.com. We also have a website, portervilleghostsociety.com, that we maintain. Um,
And your okay, and your email would be on that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Now,
and
did
we
I
do
get
get,
that? Did
yeah,
I
there
read
you
that?
go. That's it.
Okay,
And
great.
we would definitely will get back to you and talk to you. And we got a bunch of great people on board, really good people that have been through all kinds of different walks of life. And
Yeah. No, I
we're,
really liked everybody
yeah,
because
everybody's
we've done
very
a couple
supportive.
things down there.
Yeah. And we have the events that we had in the past were pretty darn good events, well
They were.
attended, and
And
people
you
had a
set
good
up
time.
and you set up that class, that workshop for me
Hmm.
at the town,
Hmm.
um, which I really appreciated. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it's almost 20 after,
Hmm.
so probably should wind this down.
Okay.
Kathy, I can't thank you enough. It's so good to talk to you.
You too. I'm glad you asked. Took a
Mhm.
bit of a here and there, but we got it done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. We adjusted.
Yeah, that's what makes life great is when you can adjust.
Yeah, we both did. So I'm glad about that. I when that whole opportunity came for you, I was like, "Go! Don't you dare miss it."
And I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I should have known it was gonna fall through,
It
but
sometimes it does. It just happened to me.
Mhm. Well, it's also very typical in this area.
Oh yeah, everywhere. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. It does
Mhm.
happen, just like that.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
So everybody, thank you all for watching,
Thank you
and
all.
we'll see you all next time. And Kathy, we'll get in touch and talk soon.
We will. Okay. Okay. Love you, William. You're
I
awesome.
love you too. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.